Do you really need an upgraded camera for your online video meetings or for your online video recordings? Does it really make that much of a difference? I have a number of them here, so I thought I'd do just a quick comparison so you could see how different webcams compare to higher end options like this Blackmagic Pocket Camera 6K, which we're filming on right now. When I first started doing online meetings, I used the simplest webcam available to me, the ones built into my monitors or to my laptop. So if we start by taking a look at the webcam built into a 27-inch cinema display, this is the out-of-the-box settings, and you can see the stark contrast to the camera we just came from. Much closer field of vision, so it's zoomed in way more on me, and much less control over the exposure and the color, so we can see the rapid drop in quality there. Moving up to the camera built into the new MacBooks, which is slightly higher quality. These MacBooks have the HD cameras. You can still see all the grain that's in this image from these settings, which are well lit, yet still not quite lit well enough for this MacBook. And if we move on to something external, like the Logitech Brio 4K camera, we do pick up that clarity. We get a much nicer picture than the built-in cameras to the cinema display or the MacBook, but we still lack that control over the color of our camera and the exposure. We can get those kind of weird fading in and out of the exposures. These cameras are very sensitive to changes in light. As we upgrade further up the stack, there are the mirrorless cameras, the smaller cousins to DSLRs, which are more suited to streaming and to video recording perhaps than DSLRs themselves. And so we have here the Canon M50, which is a mirrorless camera similar to things like the Sony a6000, where we do begin to get more control. We can control the lenses on the camera. On this camera, we have a 22 millimeter prime lens attached, which allows us to have a shallower depth of field. And we can control the white balance and other things which allow us to take more control over the color and dial in our settings a little bit more. And moving all the way up the stack to the camera we started with, the Blackmagic camera. This is a 6K camera, which is clearly more resolution than you need for a standard online meeting or even for uploading videos. But what it allows us to do is have a large sensor which can capture a lot of light and give us easier control over that shallow depth of field and the blur in the background we may want. And then we can crop down our images or simply record at a lower resolution while still using our full-size Canon lenses like the 6K camera supports. There are 4K versions of this camera. The Blackmagic Pocket Camera 4K is also available for about half the price. And so you have a full range, everything from the built-in cameras in your cinema displays to your MacBooks to the mirrorless lens cameras all the way up to these cinema cameras, which give you the most control over your color. How complex and what you need depends heavily on the kinds of scenarios you'll be using your cameras for, but now you can see a little bit more directly what these cameras look side by side. And I hope you go find the camera that gives you the video you need for your next project or your next meeting.